Hello everyone, we are back here in our Minecraft zoo, and I'm super excited. This is our episode 25, and I'm just so excited that we made it to this many episodes. Now, I actually haven't really looked at my zoo from all the way up here before, on top of my house slash barn, but I just thought it might be cool just to look at it from up here and see how much we got. It does look pretty small still, but we have quite a few habitats, and we also have our bison all the way over here. So yeah, I definitely think we need to fill that area over here, that corner, so that it kind of connects, because obviously right now it's kind of a little bit disjointed. But yeah, so I'm really happy about this episode that I've got planned for you guys. So I have basically two parts of it that I want to do. I want to add another habitat, and it was actually suggested that I add ring-tailed lemurs, so I'm going to go and try to find some of them so that we can add them. And we're either going to put them in that area over there or next to our Galapagos tortoises over in that area. So I haven't quite decided that yet, but that's going to be the first thing I do, so I'm going to go look for them. And then after that, I want to try to renovate some of these habitats that were older and, you know, spruce them up a bit. And then I will walk through and show you guys the whole zoo and basically do like a bit of a tour. So that's the plan here. So I'm going to go out looking for some lemurs, and I will be right back with you guys. Hi buddy! Do you need to be tranquilized? Nope. Alright, koala, awesome. There's another koala here, so we're just gonna snag that guy. Oh, did they not fall asleep? Oh! Yeah, it does. Is it gonna attack me? Does it have to land? No, it doesn't. That's really interesting. Did I find these guys before? This is an echidna, right? Yeah. Oh, they're so cute. Look at this place. All you can see is flowers and gorillas. There's some over there, some over there, some over there. Ooh. Alright, this village is not safe. I just want to see if the blacksmith has anything. Oh, okay. Ooh, I'm glad I came in here. Well, I still haven't found any lemurs, unfortunately, but I believe that this is a swamp where a slime would spawn. So I actually think it's about to be nighttime. So I'm going to see, unless it's a full moon, we might be able to find out whether or not they spawn here. Oh, it looks like it is a new moon. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Is that a gharial or is that just a crocodile? Gharial. Ooh. Oh. Don't wake up, don't wake up. Okay. That was a cool color. I heard a snake, I heard a snake. I don't know why the snakes really scare me. Like, I'm not that scared of snakes in real life, but that noise is just scary. Oh, look at this guy. He's a baby elephant. Where's your mom? There's lots of elephants over there. Why aren't you hanging out with them? I hope the mom isn't like behind the building and about to get me. But look how cute you are. Aww. I love that. It's so cute. Should I bring him home? I think so. Maybe he's an orphan. Pretend that his parents aren't here. Ooh. grass. Oh! The baby's trying to get me. Jeez. So angry. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was unexpected. What the heck is that? Is that like a crab? It kind of scares me. Let's keep going. Oh. It is. This is a crab. Oh, it's looking at me. Let's get out of here. Oh, I think I needed another one of these. This might be the funniest one yet. There's like 3 bison on the roof of this village. That's incredible. There's 4! Ooh, almost missed. Oh my gosh. Wait, is this a tapir? Wait. Oh. Can I? Oh. Okay. That one is a cool color. Okay. So we got 3 tapirs. This is such a successful trip, except that I haven't found what I'm looking for. Is it gonna get me? It's a Gila monster, right? Oh, yep, it attacks. It attacks. Well, okay, so it looks like I found a jungle, and over here this is rainforest. So I think this would be a pretty good biome area to find them. I'm not really certain. Also there's a lot of rhinos here. So I'm worried they're gonna kill me. But I think they're a different kind of rhino, and I kind of want to find out. I think they're Javan rhinos. Or maybe Indian rhino? Sumerian rhino. Ooh, okay. Those are cool too. Hi, are you friendly? Oh, you sea turtle! Oh, another one. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Alright guys, so I am back from my adventure, and I actually have a bit of bad news, and I feel kind of silly about this. But I really wanted to find some ring-tailed lemurs, but turns out that those are not actually in this pack. I thought I had seen them before earlier in the series, but I'm not sure if I actually did. Now there is a mod that used to work with this one, but now that one is no longer updated. I can't remember the name off the tip of my tongue here. But either it was in that and now it's not in the game, or I think I may have misremembered. And I think maybe I saw Cody Mundy's and then knew what they were. I knew that they weren't lemurs, but then in my memory, because they do have a similar like body shape and everything, maybe I thought I had seen a lemur instead. But they're not in the game, so we're not going to be able to add that habitat today, but I did find some really cool animals, so I'm super happy about that. And I might end up adding one of those today instead. I haven't quite decided yet because all of my plans are kind of all shaken up right now. But I did find some pretty cool stuff, so I was thinking I might try these river stones and mossy stones for our path block, because I think this is too much red. I think it's going to be too bright and too contrasty. So I actually tested out over here, just a little section. I think this will kind of go with almost anything. Like it'll go with this wood, it goes with this okay. I don't really think it will clash with anything. Possibly the green, but I have less of that. I only have 52 left. So yeah, the unfortunate part about using this block is they're kind of hard to get. You can't craft them or anything. And and the only place to find them really is in rivers. So I actually scoured basically this whole river here. I did go, yeah, I went all the way up through here. I remember going through this loop, and I ended up over here by this village. I went all the way through there. However, there is a lot of rivers around here. You know, this is a whole river here. There's another one here. So we do have quite a few rivers that we could check. But it is quite tedious. Luckily, I also have the depth strider, so that makes it super easy. And I think respiration as well, yeah. So it's not too bad, but it is kind of frustrating to have to just find them. And they don't spawn everywhere in rivers, so it's kind of rare. But I do like this quite a bit, so I might try to do a bit more of this, just to get a bigger picture of what it'll look like throughout the whole zoo. And the other thing I'm not sure, because here I've just done like, I've filled the whole thing in, you know, where our path that I've done so far has had like grass gaps, and I think it kind of looks nice like that, but it also is pretty messy. So I don't know if I should fill the path like this, or if I should have dirt or anything with it. So I'll probably have to play around with that and see. But as always, any ideas are quite welcome. However, for now, the next thing I'm going to do for this episode is I want to do a bit of a renovation for the zebra habitat for sure, and I want to do a bit for our tigers here. These are our two, I think, plainer habitats, like no flowers. These guys have some bushes and stuff, but not too much. So I just kind of want to adjust some stuff, maybe add some chisel and bits things, give these guys a little bit better place to live. Alright everyone, so I've made quite a few updates to our zoo. Obviously, this area here is not finished yet. We have a bit to do. This is our entrance here, so this is like the pretend gate, and over here is where I'm going to hopefully build a bridge across to make it seem like that's how people get here. And then we're going to have a path that comes out here. I want to build some kind of like a fountain with a statue here, and then the path will continue up. And it will come up by the barn and the house, and so it'll branch off either towards our farm animals, which I think I need to fix this because they might be able to get out of here. But yeah, so this is like the farm area. It's quite loud, but we are actually going to start our tour going this way, and we're going to see the animals over here. Alright, so the first animal that we would see coming this way is the Amur leopard. And so you can see them from over here. This is like a little sheltered area for them, but you can still see them if they're in there. And then you're able to go around this way as well. And this way you can see their food, their tire swing, their little watering hole. And they've got quite a good amount of space to move around. Now this is one of our newer habitats, so I didn't really do anything to update it. But I might want to update the back wall a bit later. Just haven't quite done that yet. And this path for now ends here, but we will have a new habitat in this area soon. And this is like the back of the moose habitat that we will get to soon. But the Amur leopards, these guys are super cool, but they're very endangered. But I did a whole episode and I said lots of facts about them in that one. So if you want, you might want to see that one instead. Alright, but yeah, these are our Amur leopards, and I love these guys so much. But we are going to keep going. So into the zoo, straight ahead we can see our gravy zebra. Now there are several different types of zebras, but they all look pretty similar, but there are some differences. Now, one thing that a lot of people wonder about zebras is whether they're white with black stripes or black with white stripes. And I actually know the answer to that, and they are black with white stripes. And the way that you can kind of tell is because of their nose. Because the skin on their nose, it doesn't have a lot of fur on it. That's just their skin. That's what color they are. And so, as you can tell by these guys, they have a dark nose. And actually, a fun fact about this as well is for horses, not zebras. One way to tell whether a horse is actually really dark brown or black is to look at the nose, because their fur might look black to us, but if their nose is a little bit lighter brown, then that means overall the horse is actually technically a brown color. Now I did update this habitat just a bit. I added some chisel and bit stuff for here. Added lots of little plants for them and everything, so it looks a lot livelier. Pretty simple stuff, but I think it looks just a little bit nicer. The one thing is that the grayish colored dirt doesn't work with the chisel and bits mod, so that was kind of unfortunate, but I did do what I could. Now the thing with the gravy zebras, opposed to other types of zebras, is these guys are the largest living species, and they're also the most endangered. So that's quite unfortunate, but hopefully maybe we can try to breed these guys sometime soon in our zoo. But moving right along, we're going to go this way, and this is our Coatimundi habitat. Now this one I actually decided to keep the same as it was. The only thing that I did was make this area here had some dirt showing on this block, so I just put the wood there. But it definitely is very bright, which is why I want to change the ground here. But in the back of their habitat, I decided to keep this as dirt, just because I think that it looks kind of better that way. Although I might add some stone perhaps instead, but I don't think it would look good as wood, at least. Now these guys, I did put a lot of effort into their habitat when I made it, but I didn't really give a lot of facts about them. And so these guys are from South America, and a little bit in the United States and Mexico, but only like the southern areas. Now, as you can see, looking at them, they have that long tail, and they actually can use it to help them with balancing on branches, and like when they climb down a tree, they can kind of use it to make sure that they don't like fall or like climb down too quickly. It keeps them balanced and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool when I was reading up about them. The one thing I don't necessarily like about this habitat is how this is not very see-through, so I might end up changing this to glass. Because we do have the glass on the ceiling, and it's a lot nicer there, but there's no way to get up there, because that's not really how you're supposed to view them. But yeah, so these are our Coatimundis. So moving on, we have our moose. They like to stick their head out of their habitat, as you can see. But no, it's kind of weird. They tend to hang out only up here. They don't really wander too much down here. I don't know why. And this habitat I did keep mostly the same as well, but I did add the back. I just put the planks along the whole back wall. I think it looks a little bit nicer that way. Although I think some parts of the wall might need to be taller than they currently are. I think it might look better that way, but we will see. But yeah, in the moose habitat episode, I did give quite a few facts about these guys. They are super cool, and I think if you want to see more about them, you might want to check out that video. But I really love this habitat. I love having a bit of their winter habitat area, and then up here it looks sort of more summery, dried out and everything, without snow. So yeah, that's our moose. Then turning around here, we haven't really seen these guys in quite some time. This was one of our early habitats, but our red panda's here. And actually, I'm quite proud of this habitat. The one thing that I did mean to do was change that back wall because it bumps up to the zebras, and at the time I didn't have chisel and bits. But now I could replace that. I just forgot about that until I'm looking at it right now. Now, red pandas are native to Asia. Basically, they live in the Himalayas and in China, similar to like a giant panda's area of habitat. Now, despite the name and the similar habitat, these guys are not closely related to a giant panda, although they are slightly similar in some ways. They do eat a lot of bamboo, and their family line, from what I've read, is a little bit up for debate. Previously, red pandas were actually grouped with bears and raccoons, but it turns out that they are actually the only living species in their own family. Now, the cool thing that I liked when I built this habitat was actually the stairs in the back. You can see them here. And so the pandas, like these guys up here, can get onto the trees. And so they really enjoy being up there, so I like that I've done that. So they can get up to the tree in the back, and then I made this little bridge so they can get onto the second tree. So I kind of built that to be basically enrichment for them, even though in the game that doesn't count as enrichment, but as like a look, it kind of seems like it would be enriching for them. So I think that's kind of cool. I really like this habitat, so that's why I pretty much kept it the same. And now, the next habitat we're going to move to is our Galapagos tortoises. And these guys, I actually built this habitat very, very recently. I think that was actually our last one that we built. But these guys are super cool, although also very endangered. Unfortunately, that is kind of a trend in the animal world. People don't seem to take care of habitats as well as they should be, and it's quite sad. But it turns out that at least sometimes in captivity, these guys are able to reproduce pretty well. I've actually seen, in my own experience, at a zoo, there was like a clutch of I think 6 or 8, and I've actually watched them grow up over the past couple years, so that's been pretty cool to see. And so there is hope for the species, so that's something that I'm really happy about, because obviously I don't want any animal to go extinct, but these guys are really cool, so that would be really nice. But let's keep going around here for a bit. Now, we can see the tigers right over here. However, we're going to do a little loop around, I think. Right now our zoo is a little bit not connected perfectly, but I'm going to save those for a little bit later. I will apologize for the noise. These little birds here are very loud, but I will turn that down for you guys in post, don't you worry. Now this little aviary was also very fun to build. It was one of my early ones as well, but I love the idea of like a walkthrough. Now I originally wanted to make it more of like an actual walkthrough where like an open air where you can kind of just see the birds right in front of you, because I've been in a lot of those in real life, and those are really neat. But just because of the risk of the animals escaping, that's why I didn't do it in Minecraft. I just didn't want to have to worry about them like swooping through the doors really fast or anything. But luckily, we do have some pretty clear glass, so it makes it look kind of interesting and nice. I was kind of hoping to have netting over the top instead of the 2 layers of glass like this. But I think this is okay. Now this species in here is actually the cockatiel, and they're actually really pretty birds. They're really cool. They are from Australia, but now they live worldwide as pets. They're very smart birds, and they're very beautiful, and people everywhere pretty much love them. Now the thing though with birds, as much as they can make great pets, they are, as you can hear, loud. They bite hard, and they do live quite a long time, so they're a very big commitment. So if you're considering getting a bird, just make sure that you're ready for all of that. But they are just wonderful. They're really fast learners, and they can really bond with people, so it's pretty awesome. But we are going to move over here to our grizzly bear habitat. These guys tend to hang out near their den, a little bit territorial maybe. But this habitat, I thought it was really nice. I used a lot of the podzol, made it look pretty foresty for them, and I think it was pretty cool. Bears are really cool animals, but they're one of the few that I actually feel pretty scared of, just because it feels like they live kind of everywhere, at least like in the United States where I live. There's different types of bears kind of wherever. I know when I would go camping as a kid with my grandparents, there would be brown or black bears around, and they would like knock over bird feeders or just destroy stuff sometimes, so it was just a bit scary knowing that they were around, even though I never really saw them. But with that said, I really respect them, and I would never want to have them like get rid of them from an area or anything, but it is just something that I feel like I always want to be careful, and I don't really want to run into a bear. Like the bears that I would see where I've lived in the past, which is New York before, and now I currently live in Florida, there are no grizzly bears in either of those places really. And so grizzly bears are more on the western side, especially the northwest. So they live in Canada and Alaska more than anywhere else. So they like the colder climates. I didn't give them any snow in here, but maybe it's just kind of summer right now. So I think that's fine. Now, unlike most of the animals in our zoo, these guys are not super endangered, but they are considered threatened in the United States and endangered in some parts of Canada. So they face habitat loss, hunting, and of course people, you know, how I'm scared of them, but you know, some people think that the solution to that is just to have them not live in the same areas as people, which is very unfortunate. But luckily, we don't have to worry too much about them yet, and hopefully their numbers will stay steady and we will see bears for years to come. You can kind of see them from over here as well, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, we have one more habitat over in this direction, and that is our beaver habitat. We also built this one recently, and I finally did do this back wall here. So yeah, that looks a lot better, I think. Hopefully it's not too bright, but I just used the same wood as here just to keep it consistent. This little poor beaver is kind of stuck under here in their little lodge, so I might have to get her out, but for now I think it's cool to just see her in here. I actually gave a lot of facts about the beavers just a couple episodes ago when I built this habitat, so if you want to see more about them, maybe check that out. But I think my favorite fact about the beavers is that they end up teaching their young how to build the dams and the lodges from quite a young age, and it takes them about 2 years to teach them everything they need to know to go out and live on their own. Alright, but that is, I guess, the beaver habitat. I think that's pretty much all there is to it here. So we will have to backtrack just a bit, so we're going to head and see the tigers now. This side is also not very finished, but here we are at the tigers. Now these guys are sleeping. There we go. They are Bengal tigers. There is several different types of tigers, all of which are endangered. Now tigers are in fact the largest big cat in the world, and if you've ever seen one close up, I mean even just looking at them compared to your Minecraft character, they're pretty big. And one time I saw one pretty close up, but you could see the paw print that it left in the sand, like right below a window, and it's just kind of mind-blowing just to see how big they are. I hope these guys aren't going to escape while I'm looking at them. So yeah, this habitat I did do a little bit of work on. I added some chisel and bits to the ground to make it a little bit more uneven, added lots of flowers and plants for them, and then I fixed up this wall because some of it was still dirt. I don't know how I forgot about it, but I fixed that, so it's all cobblestone now. So hopefully that looks okay, but I think that kind of makes sense to have it be a little bit sturdier because they're tigers. You don't want them to get away. Tigers are native to areas in Asia. Bengal tigers specifically are mostly found in India and the areas around there. But yeah, they face a lot of habitat loss and a lot of poaching and just hunting because if they end up near humans, they don't want them around. I don't know why anyone would want to hurt that cute face though. Now this habitat also has one of my favorite things. The tiger tail that sticks through the wall. No. But it has this path that comes around the back of the habitat, and you can actually see right into their little house here through this glass. And so if they sleep up here or come up here, that's where their food is. And it's just an interesting view of a tiger that you really wouldn't usually see. So I think that's kind of cool. And it just ends up looping back. You can see the zebras again, and then back to the front of the habitat. It's just a little circle here. But yeah, this was one of our early habitats as well, so it probably still needs a little bit of work, but it's not too bad. We also have a lot of escaped sheep. I haven't been able to figure out how to keep them in here yet. But yeah, so these are the tigers that we have. And then we have one other species in our zoo, and that's if we go this way, towards the back of our house here. We have the American bison. So we have 4 of these guys in here. A couple of them like to hang out really close, which is nice. So yeah, this habitat I built really big because these guys are migratory animals and they tend to wander and just travel a lot. And they usually have like quite big herds of them as well. So we have 4 in here, but they could probably have a lot more together. But these guys are super cool. I remember growing up, the local zoo in New York, near where I lived, they've always had some bison there. Usually they're kind of lazy there. They like tend to just lay around, or sometimes they just stand there. But their habitat was a little bit plain, or is, I should say. I think they still have them, but I don't live there anymore, so I haven't seen them in quite a few years. But they always seemed relatively happy. They just seemed like they just wanted to chill. But yeah, these guys, as calm as they usually seem to be, they could be quite dangerous. As you can see, they do have the horns, and I built this habitat so you could look down at them. But as you can see from like this guy who's standing almost at our level, they are big. So yeah, they could really do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, bison have faced quite a lot of hunting over the years. And in fact, there was a time that they had very, very few left, I think less than 1,000 in the wild. But happily, they have recovered quite a bit and are now considered near threatened, which is not great, but they're not quite endangered right now. But they used to roam basically throughout the entire continent of North America, and at this time, most of them end up living in national parks. Now, something that's not exactly surprising, but it's interesting, is that bison are actually in the bovine family, so they're going to be in the same family as like cows, but also like African buffalo and similar animals like that. So it's quite a big family, and it's quite different species that, you know, are in it. And so they're not going to be like really closely related to those other animals, but they are in the same family and they are very similar. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, that is basically the whole zoo. In here we just have the bottom level of our barn. We don't have any horses in there. But then we do have this staircase, and that goes into our upper barn and our house. So we only have a couple of horses right now. I think we have 3. It's been kind of weird. This world doesn't really generate a lot of horses. And this is our house area that we have so far. And we have the upstairs that I added semi-recently. And I still need to update this because it just goes to here and stops. But yeah, so that is basically our whole zoo that we have so far. I do want to finish up this wall. We started off with that. It's going to surround the zoo so that we can have some villagers wander around it and pretend that they're like guests coming in. But yeah, so that is our zoo so far. I'm really happy with it, and the series is super fun. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I want to get some new animals next time. So if you have a suggestion, whether it's one that I've found this episode or something else that you know is in this pack or this mod, please let me know, because I'd love to include them. But that is going to do it for this tour and the episode. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!